Hey everybody, and welcome to Workshop Studios. What's today's project? Let me show you. There it is right there. So you might be able to see that this is an oak, not very big, but what I'm showing you is this new gadget I have. Not much to it. It's really meant to just deep water trees. So you hook the hose on here and the water comes out down there in those little holes. So I wasn't really thinking that it was going to do much more than water the trees, but it turns out to be much more than that, and I think it's my new best friend. So the reason I'm showing you this in this context is because I am now calling this my new hydro excavator, because when it shoots water out of those little holes, it really moves dirt around, and so it has the ability to go down deep and push dirt out from between roots like down in here. And I'll show you that in a minute. So what it's turned out to do is to not only help dig around trees, but if I stick it in the lawn, it loosens the soil up under the lawn and helps that grass to grow. I've used it for hydrangeas to go underneath the hydrangea and water underneath it so that it basically is floating in water, because they like that a lot. So it's kind of my new best friend. It's very easy to use. Hook the hose on there, and you might be able to see there's a little valve on it. So you just open and close the valve when you want to move it, because if you pull it out of the ground with the water going, then water squirts everywhere all over you, and that's no fun. So you just turn it off, move it, and turn it back on. And again, I'll show you all that. So I'm still dealing with sciatica, which means I'm taking it easy in between this, and the excavation is going slowly, but we'll keep on it, and I am getting better, so we'll take it easy, if you might, but continue to make progress. So a brief explanation of why I'm doing this excavating around this is that we want to kind of turn this area into more of a gardeny area, and this oak is too close to the driveway, so it needs to come out. We have another oak right over there, so that's way too close to have two oaks together like that. Anyhow, and they come up naturally around here, pulling them up all the time. So what I'm trying to do is get the underneath of this as excavated as possible, and cut the smallish roots with loppers, and then go through the bigger ones with a sawzall once I've got them cleared from dirt, and then hook onto the tree somewhere there and over to one of these bigger trees. You can't quite see them, but something bigger like these, with a come along and start pulling on this whole tree. So rather than chainsaw the thing down, what I'm trying to do is pull the root ball out. So what I want to do is get that loosened up around there as much as I can, cut those big side roots, and see if I can't get that tree to start moving with the come along. Anyhow, that's what's going on here. All right, so here it is after it's soaked in a bit, and may not look like too much progress, but all of this is now softened up in here, and this one big root here, which you can see a little better from this side, is one that I was trying to get underneath. Didn't quite make it, but I'll get there. And a couple of these, I want to get those cleared out a little more, and then I can use probably loppers to take those off. So making progress, slow and steady. All right, so cleaned up a few of the little roots out of the way and dug out a bit of the mud, and it's water soaked in. Now what I want to do is concentrate, I want to concentrate right in here and try to get, come over this way maybe, and try to get that exposed. I also want to get the taproot exposed, which is going to be down in there, if I can. So let me do that, and you can watch what I'm doing. Here it is a couple of days later. The water soaked in nicely. I'll dig some of that extra dirt out of there. That'll, and we can work on getting underneath. I didn't show you because I didn't have the camera running, but I did get underneath this one here. So that's worked out well. I think I'm going to work around that edge a little bit more too. All right, so continuing to dig. you can see the dirt line was about there, and we're down a good 12 inches down to here. So we're making good progress, and you can just start to see where the taproot is down there. It's big, and there's probably several of them. So, and by the way, I uncovered this is the internet cable coming in here. I've got a gray conduit that I put in a while ago that the cables run in. So that's good that I got that uncovered. Know where it is, and I can avoid it with the saws and all that. And by the way, all I've done so far is just used a set of loppers and the shovel and the wheelbarrow to do all this so far, and the magic wand, of course. And even if we used a chainsaw and cut it off lower now, if we cut it off just about where we don't hit any dirt, it's still well below where we were going to be cutting before. So this is all good, but I still want to try and rotate this around and cut as much of this base out of here as possible, like I said, so we can turn this into a garden area. All right, so we'll do a little bit more cleanup here. You can see we've been looking at it from this direction, now we're back here. So we're going to clean up around this root here and a little bit more over here. All right, so it's time to start whittling away at these roots. We've already cut a bunch of them with just a lopper. Now it's time to get the big guns out here. So we're going to use a Sawzall with a pruning blade and the drill, which I've shown you that trick for roots before. I'll put a link up top for that. But let's go ahead and start cutting away on them. All right, now you can see we've got good exposure down there. Might blast with a hose, but I also may just get my little hand axe out and knock some of that dirt away and see what we're dealing with. But that's the whole point, is to get these surface roots out of the way so we can see what we're dealing with underneath. And the reminder that we don't have to go too much lower than the concrete here, because we are going to turn this into garden area, but don't have to get that stump down super low. So we'll probably cut it down in here someplace. All right, it's a little easier to see from this angle how big that taproot going down is. It's probably about the same size as that diameter right there, it looks like. So we'll have our work cut out for us getting through that down next to the dirt. Again, try not to use a chainsaw because it'll just ruin the blade right away. But we'll probably pull some more of that dirt away from there and see what we got. All right, so we've gone down another layer. Hopefully you can see, here's where the dirt level was before, down to there. Found an old cable there. And clearly we don't want to hit that. That's our internet cable coming into the house in that gray pipe. So we're steering clear of that one. Very good. So we'll keep working our way around the base of this, and then it'll be time to put that cable and the come along on it and see how much it moves. All right, so I've got the come along hooked onto this is our one we're digging on here, so I've got it hooked up there and down here to this oak, and I put just a little tension and it started to move. So I think we've got a lot of the structure away from there, but we'll keep working on it. I'm not going to put too much on right now because we have some more cutting to do. Anyhow, we'll have at it there and continue on. All right, so we've done a little bit more excavation, and you can see down here that we're down to sort of some more of the side roots, but they're going down more. So we'll cut through those same way with the drill and the reciprocating saw, and then we'll pull on the tree a little and see how that does. Alright, so we've switched the come along so that it's coming out this way onto the driveway, hooked over onto the car over there. And so we'll take a couple of these limbs off, just be easier to get it managed and down that way. And then I think we're changing our tactic. We're going to cut it off the chainsaw about there and then let that part fall, and then we'll work on the bottom part after that. Alright, so there's that done. There it is, staged over there. All that stuff will get cut into smaller pieces, but for the most part, that's what we wanted right there. So we'll probably hook that come along up to it again, and we'll work on this part back here. And hopefully that'll just push right over. Well, only one or two left down there. I think that's the one we need to get right there. So let's work on that one. All right. There's what we were cutting on down there, in there, and by drilling all those holes, it weakened that enough we could pull it over by the come along. So there we go, water excavation and some careful archaeological digging and judicial use of a drill and a sawzall, and we got the whole stump out. And when that's covered up with dirt, that will be a lovely garden area. Alright, I think we're done with this, so thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe. Catch you on the next video. Bye! Well, you didn't think I could quit without showing you the, the final stumps here, getting everything out of the way. So we have 1, 2, 3, and then kind of a little one. And I would call those sort of the tap roots. It might actually be one big one here, like right there, but I was able to get those 3 chunks out of it. And that one, and that was it. All right, again, thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one. Bye. All right, so this is a triple postscript. Figure we started with the water wand and we could finish with it. So I've gone ahead and filled in this hole. You can see that's all gone. Here's all the wood chopped up. But I filled it in with a whole lot of the compost from our kitchen and whatnot composter that we have, and it did a good job of filling the hole up, but it's going to sink down quite a bit. So the other thing I wanted to do was go around the edge of this area and loosen it up, and so I'm using the water wand to do that. And I hope you can see there's a lot of red, kind of red colored dirt here. Well, that's the clay coming up from as I'm drilling down in with the water. I have mulched this area, oh gosh, for 20 some odd years. And it's not bad soil, but it's not as deep as I would like. And even though I've double dug it, I'm still going down only about a foot until I hit good red clay, which is good or bad, depending on how you look at it. But I want to make this into a flower area, or a perennials, or whatever you want to call it. And to do that, it needs good loose soil in it. And this turns out to be a really, really handy tool for that. As I said at the beginning of the video, right now what I'm doing is using it exclusively to go around and loosen this soil up. And I'm going to tell you right now, this is a whole lot easier than double digging and rototilling and all that stuff. Just stick it in there and let it run down there and kind of move it around a bit. It's pretty easy work, and at least for heavy clay soil it works out great. For sandy soil probably not work out so good, but for heavy clay, that's the ticket right there. So I'll leave you with that, and good luck with your projects. Add one more thing. It is extremely handy not only in red clay, but in areas where you've got a lot of roots. You can see all the trees, obviously. And so you kind of work your way down around and through the roots, and it's rocky, sort of rocky soil. So this is really handy because it kind of just drills its way right through the roots, and it doesn't cut them, but you kind of work your way around them, and you get good soil up.